We the best around.
We designated spitters live every week. Designated homie cause we sticky heat. We designated spitters deep. Talking Yankee baseball, hip hop or the streets. We designated, we innovative. We designated spitters time, let you know. We designated, we innovative. We designated spitters, let's start the show.
Well, last night, a new World Series was crowned. A winner, unfortunately, it's the Houston Astros. But again, I already said it. They deserved it. They won. They deserved it. They're doing the right things in that organization. But before I go any further, I am joined by the man himself, Ruben Cruz. What's going on, fam?
What's up, y'all? How's it going?
Guys already know Ruben. Ruben the man on Twitter. If you don't know Ruben on Twitter, you ain't on Twitter, okay?
Yep.
Ruben, man. Oh, by the way, too, everybody give a little congratulations to Ruben. Baby boy on the way. Baby boy on the way. Let's go, fam. Let's go, man. I tell you right now, Ruben got his own little team being built over there. I feel you, Ruben.
Gotcha, bro. You know, you got the picture of the catcher. Let's see if we start getting a first baseman.
Got to keep him rolling, fam. So, really today, I mean, let's briefly touch on, of course, the World Series and, you know, the Houston Astros winning it. I think the big takeaway, at least from me, right, from a Yankees fan, is the Houston Astros lost Carlos Correa, and they said, hey, we're going to plug in our shortstop. We could have also very well went out there and got a Trevor Story. A lot of people thought Story would be a good fit. They could have went out there and got a lot of these other guys. They said, you know what? We're going to go with Jeremy Pena, and we're going to leave him there. He may go through some struggles. We know he's pretty good defensively, and we'll see what he does overall. The kid is the ALCS MVP and the World Series MVP. What does that tell you, Ruben?
That tells me that one, the development is good. They trust going to the young guys. Not only are they about it in terms of developing prospects, but they actually go for it. You know, because that's what got them, you know, into the playoffs, into the postseason for so long.
Right.
They committed to their folks, the people that they groomed in their system to be major leaguers. You know, you got Altuve, you got Bregman.
Yep.
You got the 4 out of the 5 starters in the pitching staff are from the farm system. So they trust their development system, bro. That's what that tells me. I mean, one of the relievers also was from their farm system.
Yeah.
So Pena is a real deal, bro.
No doubt about it. Pena is awesome to watch. And I tell you what, like, I called every single World Series game. I called the of course, the ALCS with the Yankees where they got swept by the Astros. And, you know, coming into the series with the Yankees, I remember a couple of things I said immediately. This was when the Yankees were about to beat the Guardians. I said, here's the thing about the Yankees, everybody. They cannot go into that series just thinking they're going to win the way they've won the few games they won in the second half. They got to change things up if you're playing Houston. Now, you do that with the rosters. That's why you got a chance to change your roster when you advance in the playoff because you got a different competition. You got a different type of team.
Yeah,
when it came to when it came to the Houston Astros, I said, if you're gonna play IKF, play him at third base and put Peraza as shortstop because you need to add contact, you need to add speed, and you got to wreak havoc on the bases if you're gonna do anything against Houston. You can't give that team extra outs. The Yankees disregarded all of that. They continued to play Donaldson every day when he looked horrible. Still being defended, by the way, till this day by Yankees brass. Give credit to Brian Cashman. He came out and flat out said he had a horrible offensive season. So good for him for doing that. I give credit what credit's due. Always do. But when you saw, because we haven't really talked before the ALCS, when you saw that the Yankees were continuing kind of in the same nonsense we saw, did you have hope at all? Like, was there really hope for you that they're going to get past this team?
Nah, man, to be honest, no. I didn't because, I mean, I said it to some friends of mine a couple of months ago. I don't believe in the offense. Like, I just don't believe in the nature of how they go about their at-bats. We had too many regressions offensively. We had too many folks relying on the long ball. Like Donaldson never adjusted his approach. He had one of his better strikeout rates last year, and this year he goes back to being a strikeout machine.
Yeah.
So then you have that.
What was
Um,
his rate, by the way? Do you have that in front of you?
uh, Last year, I'm pretty sure he was around the 20% range. Like he had cut it down pretty
Right, right.
significantly. This year, he was like around 27, 28%. That's a
Wow.
drastic jump.
That's a
So
huge
like,
jump.
yeah, so he became l- pretty much like we wanted more contact. He made more contact than Gio last year by in terms of whenever he made it out, at least he put the ball in play. But then it's like it went right back to where Gio made all the contact and he made all the strikeouts.
Yeah, just completely reversed. And it's kind of comical too because I remember joking around about it a lot. Like I was, I did the thing where I said, "Hey, I'm going to be the Twins GM. I'm going to call Brian Cashman and all that."
Yeah.
And it was just comical because it feels like it's scripted comedy almost. And you could just kind of just have fun with it. Because the Twins ended up with the left side that we thought we might have. We were like,
Oh,
we're sitting there in the offseason going, holy crap, like we might have Correa and Gio.
yep.
And the Yankees were just like, let me just give you guys that, and we'll take IKF and Donaldson. It's insane.
That never made sense to me, bro. That never did. Because you have Correa who was
And you were one of the guys, by the way, that said you didn't like the deal.
yeah, I was like, okay, I can see where they're going at. It has the potential for doing good, but it's like, dude, you could have gone with a 28-year-old shortstop, and you already had a third baseman there. So it's like you could have got rid of Sanchez if they wanted Sanchez that bad.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And the funny thing is with the Yankees is you go back to what Brian Cashman said when that deal was made. They go into spring training and he looks at the camera directly and he's like, Gio Urshela's not Josh Donaldson. And Gio Urshela's like, cool, okay, no problem. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. He just
he had
said
a much better year.
Yeah, he said I'll go back to being Jewish because he's like I'm not trying to hit 30 bombs,
Yep.
but I'm gonna make sure I get my contact rate back up. I'm gonna hit for average, hit with runners in scoring position, all the things that Donaldson didn't do this year.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I never understood why the whole aspect of how they research players, right? Sometimes like it might be a fluke, but sometimes after so many at bats, it makes you wonder, And I looked at Donaldson's career, just hitting in Yankee Stadium, not just as a Yankee, but overall. He's never hit in New York.
Right.
So if he dominated against us, it was in Toronto. He just never hit in New York. As a road player, now a home player, he's never hit in New York. So when do we take those kind of stats into account, saying this guy can't see the ball in New York?
Ruben, can I answer that question for you? It's too. it's you know why? It's too obvious.
Right?
The Yankees don't like the obvious. It's funny too because again, I always go back to this. I'm gonna have Kevin Kernan on again very soon, but when Kevin Kernan, I spoke to him and I did that interview and I asked him about the Joey Gallo trade. He goes, Pete, look, at the end of the day, if the Yankees relied anywhere on advanced scouts in this situation, the scouts that just go watch, and the scouts that get to learn a player, they ask questions about plays, they write those notes in there. He said 150%. Those scouts would have said, hey, look, he is not a fit for New York. He's not going to be able to handle this. It's not a fit for him. Forget the strikeout. Forget this and that. Personality-wise and who he is as a person, it is not a good fit for him. The Yankees threw it out the window. They went with Mike Fishman and his guys. They go, okay, well, analytics shows this, that, and that's going to fit our line of better. Let's go into it. It is, you know what it is? It's funny saying it. Somebody brought this up to me recently. They go, Pete, you ever played out of the park baseball? And I'm like, yeah, I've played that game before. It's just like you're the GM of a club and you kind of just put guys on the field. He goes, yeah, that's what the Yankees do. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, they don't see the human. I'm like, you know what? That is actually really smart. You're right. They don't see the human no more. There's no human element. There is no Jack Curry, and we're gonna get to the press conference they had when Jack Curry talked about IKF, and he heard they went to Boone, then they went to Curry, and then they went to Cashman, and the last question to Boone was him defending IKF. hard body. Oh, his numbers are great. He should have been a Gold Glover. He's a great defensive fielder. And they simply went to Jack Curry. They go, Jack Curry said, there's analytic numbers that tell you that IKF is one of the worst fielders, and then there's some that tell you he's a better fielder.
Yep.
He goes, but when you saw Peraza play short, you saw with your eyes that he is extremely smooth, he's smart, and he makes the tough plays look easy. That was enough to say put him at short. But this is what the Yankees do, man. It's like they are in the twilight zone, and all of us are normal, and they're these weird kids running. We're like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
No, it's ridiculous, bro, because I look at it like so often. They'll because I'm a big like numbers guy, right? So I'm always constantly looking at analytics. I look at all of them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You don't pick and choose.
Yeah, no. Like to me, it's like okay, there's something that's gotta be valuable on this player, but then I gotta match it up with the eyes. You gotta be able to see it on the field too.
Yeah.
And just because a home runs look nice, just because maybe a batting average looks nice, but then you gotta go look into okay, run is in scoring position. How is he hitting? You know, no one on base. How is he getting? Type of thing. Because that makes you understand. Okay, what's their best skill set, and where do they feel the most comfortable at? You know, and that was the problem that they had all year. So then it's the same thing with the defense. You can't use defensive runs saved and exclude outs above average completely.
Thank you. Thank you. Because look, Ruben, I don't want to cut you off. I want you to keep going. But I tell this to people all the time. Analytics are fine. If you're just one of these people who go, oh, no analytics, that's stupid. You should have analytics involved. But here's the thing. It's exactly what Ruben just said. And this is what too many people do when discussing analytics. They'll give you one number and disregard everything else. All those don't matter because this one's more important. It was with the whole Joey Gallo debate, remember? Well, this number says that. And then you're like, hold on a second. But what about batting average? Who cares about batting average? Doesn't matter. Okay, but what about this one? What about that one? Those don't matter. But then you'll bring up another. Oh, IKF hits for average. I thought it didn't matter. Like, what are we doing here? Like, and it is specific to the player. It is. It really is. Because again, everybody's their own guy. They do things a little different. But I'm just so happy you mentioned that point. Is that you can't regard one thing and then disregard the other. And the Yankees did it all year with IKF.
Yep.
And let me say this.
It doesn't make sense, man.
It doesn't, but I think you're going to agree with me on this because you said this a lot during, I remember your Twitters. You would defend IKF a lot. And let me tell everybody this. The only real people to blame for IKF are the Yankees, not IKF. Yes. And I said this a lot. I did. I said he shouldn't play something. I did. I said he shouldn't be the shortstop. But every time I said it, Ruben, I said, look how bad Donaldson is. Put him at his position he's supposed to be at.
And he looked good at third. He played well
at third, yes.
Like his bat even came alive when he was playing third base. Like he was hitting for more more extra base hits.
Two homers, I think, at third base. He had 2 home runs. His first home run was at third, I believe.
Yeah, like I think 2 out of his 3 home runs came at third base.
I think so. Yeah, I think.
He looked comfortable, bro. Like it's just not everyone can play shortstop in New York, bro. Like, correct. That's Derek Jeter's spot. Like, you gotta have a certain type of temperament on the field, and even though he holds himself accountable, he doesn't make excuses, which I love about IKF.
Me too.
But at the same time, you can't keep putting a guy in that kind of situation, knowing that he has an issue going in. Because I looked at outs above average, and I was like, okay, what's up with IKF? And I like outs above average only to kind of describe where is he struggling. He's great going side to side, catching the ball. He has great range, but the problem with him is that his arm is in the lower tier of arms.
Yeah.
He averages 81 miles an hour, and then on top of that, the guy struggles going towards the ball. It's it's not natural to him to go towards the ball from the shortstop side to then make a quick throw, knowing that his arm is not strong enough.
Right.
So that's where he was the most.
Ruben, again, here's the crazy thing for me. Right? I'm Pete Simonetti. You're Ruben Cruz. Why do we know this and they disregard
it? That's the thing I question myself. If they love Donaldson's defense so much over Gio Urshela's, which I completely agree with the defense, But then why aren't you valuing it the same way as shortstop?
And you could argue a more important position.
Yeah, it's a more important position.
No question.
Donaldson graded well in both. He graded well in outs above average and defensive runs. It should have been a Gold Glove winner. They robbed it from him.
I agree.
But
if Donaldson, here's the crazy thing about those Gold Glove awards. We know this. If Donaldson had 25 homers and batted .265, he probably would have. He would have been on there. He would have been on there. Donaldson had such a horrible year that they disregarded him completely. And here's the funny thing, right? And going back to that press conference, there's the two guys. I mean, these are the two guys that caused the most commotion when it came to the Yankees this year.
Yep.
I have no problem, by the way, with Aaron Boone saying Donaldson should have been a Gold Glover. Because you know what? When you look at it in the defense aspect, he should have been. He should have been a top three. Boone is right about that. Here's my problem with Aaron Boone, and I'm so thankful that I can make the comparison. Because people will go, oh, maybe you're nitpicking. No. There is nothing wrong with saying he had a tough offensive season.
Yeah,
he did. To try to make excuses for his offense really bothers me. To the degree that I'm so happy. I'm so happy that Cashman came on and just flat out said, we thought we were getting a better offensive player. He was not good offensively. End of story. I don't got to say, hey, he was hot a little bit. He was cold. This happened. No. He was not good offensively. Thankfully, Cashman did that. But then you go to IKF. And Aaron Boone immediately went back to the defense and immediately felt the need that I got to defend this guy here. When you're not throwing your player under the bus by simply saying, hey, look, there were some plays I thought he should have made that he didn't make. But he's very hard on himself, and he's going to improve, and he wants to improve.
Yeah.
Does that mean he's not our shortstop next year? No. Because you're not going to just go, no, he's not. You're not going to say that. But let's have a little accountability, please.
Exactly. But if IKF can hold himself accountable, and if Donaldson can hold himself accountable, then why, in terms of on defense, because Donaldson doesn't hold himself accountable offensively with his pimping wall scrapers and getting out at second base.
That's right.
My thing is, why can't Boone do the same thing?
And look how quick he was to go at Sweeney. He was like, no, Sweeney, no, but that's who he is. He's going to say he's bad. He's going to say he did bad. Then why can't you?
Yeah, if you know the player is willing to hold himself accountable and you don't want to maybe trash his confidence, but you could say, man, he's a hard worker. Yes, there's some plays that he missed, but man, he's a guy that he's ready right back the next day trying to fix that mistake. You could say that.
Of course. I don't find anything wrong with the man. He's not throwing him under the bus.
Yeah, he's just saying yes, he messed up a few plays, but I can tell you right now, he's trying to fix it.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that just makes all the sense in the world. And Ruben, here's my takeaway, and I'm going to ask you about your takeaways from the press conference. I'm sure you unfortunately sat through that.
Yeah,
watch some of it. I got to read this. This is what stands out with me, Ruben. And I tell you what, man, I truly believe that anybody can win a World Series. So I want to get that out of the way for anybody who goes, oh, Pete doesn't think we can win. Anybody can win a World Series.
Yep.
I truly believe, though, the Yankees are in a very dark place. I really believe that. And let me tell you why I believe that. This is a quote from Brian Cashman. You probably already know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
People do not get let go because of results. If they have a good process and they're doing the job well, that's taken into account. Ruben, can I ask you a question? If you're working for me at a bank, you're one of my bankers, right? Every day I'm training. I've trained you for 3 weeks. You started the job. I trained you for 4 weeks. And I said, Ruben, look, this is the process. You follow it, the results are going to happen. You got to follow it to a T. I'm telling you. You know why I'm telling you? Because it's worked. It's worked before. So do this process. You come in after 3 months, I look, you go, hey, Ruben, man, what's going on? I mean, the numbers aren't good. I mean, well, I got to let's go talk. All right, I'm going to have to I got to write you up for performance. Yeah, but are you following the process? Not to a T. Well, that's probably the reason.
Exactly.
That's probably the reason you're not winning.
Exactly.
I have honestly, Ruben, in my life, I don't think I've ever read a more asinine comment than that comment right there.
I mean, it's ridiculous. Like listening to it, I was like, okay, process. Okay, you got me. Okay, yeah, you're gonna have a good process, but a good process equals results. You know what I mean? You're gonna get results. You had 5 years. You've had well, yeah, you've had it since 2018,
5 years,
since Boone
yeah.
has arrived,
Yeah.
and you're telling me it's taken them this long towards moving towards getting more contact, getting more defense, and we still have the same manager that does the same stupid bullpen moves since 2018.
Yep.
Because a lot of people point towards Boone saying, "Oh, he's averaging in the high tier of 90 wins," and I'm like, but look at the product on the field. This team is built for the regular season, but they don't do squat in the playoffs because they
And
don't prioritize baseball.
and Ruben, the funny thing about when you do what I do, when you do what you're doing on your channel and where content creators in general look to do, the funny thing is, man, during the first half of the year, do you know how many times I said, man, that's an awesome, smart move by Aaron Boone. That's a good job by Aaron Boone. Do you know how much time people don't notice? Because they all assume, Pete doesn't. It's nothing to do with not liking Aaron Boone.
They remember the bad, not the good.
They
You know what
remember
I
the
mean?
bad, not the good. Ruben, I remember in the beginning of the year, right? I remember sitting there saying, holy shit, he's sitting down Gleyber Torres for 2 games. Wow. He's actually doing it.
Or allowing his starters to go the third time around because
Yes.
they're pitching well.
Yes.
You know
I
what I
remember
mean?
saying, I said, guys, here's what I think happened. I think Boone came around and said, guys, look, I got to try to manage this game a little more. If I'm going to come back, I got to manage this game. And then Ruben, everything they did in the first half completely disappeared. And I don't want to hear injuries. Because
And
you
that's the
can
thing.
still manage the game the same way. You can still manage the same way. He started letting the guys get away with not hustling the first. He let all that shit happen again. And then it just became a circus.
Yeah, I mean, it happened again because, like, and that's why I don't like the injury excuse.
Right.
Because at the same time, you could have told Donaldson, stop pimping your freaking wall scrapers and run.
That's right.
We need
That's
we need you to get a second base if that thing doesn't go out.
I remember one time, Ruben, when he pinched something. He went back to the dugout, and Boone went to go grab him, and he literally just walked by him. You remember that? He walked down the tunnel, like, move. I don't want to talk to you. Like, shoot him away. Get out of here.
Yeah, he just left. Yep. And that's the thing. When you look at it, like, it's like something with the way he was handling the bullpen and the starters.
Yeah.
Oh, we started struggling, so we're gonna go ahead and micromanage our starters again.
Yep.
And it's like, dude, it was working. You weren't overusing your bullpen. You had them rested, and now why don't you start developing what the Astros did? This is my 7th guy. This is my 8th guy.
Thank you.
This is my 9th guy. And then you have your set guys with, like, these are my fire guys. These are my guys that I need to get out of this inning, regardless of what inning it is. But you gotta have your set 7, 8, 9, and these are my fire guys.
Yep.
Like, it's just, and I know Michael King was a big blow in terms of that portion of it. But bro, the rest of the bullpen was very good, but he put them in horrible situations.
Terrible.
Like, you're pulling Cortez with 80-something pitches or 90 pitches. Oh, no, I just felt like the lanes. Stop with the lanes, bro. Look at the freaking game. The guy was pitching well because he got into trouble the last inning.
Ruben,
Cortez always figures it out.
Ruben, look at Wheeler last night.
Exactly.
Look at that move. I mean, you're talking about a move that I told everybody this when it happened. Ruben, no joke. Go back to my game season if you watched it. I said, guys, this move is gonna backfire so bad. Oh yeah, but Alvarado, the guy crushes lefties and he's not a crafty lefty. He's like, I'm gonna try to throw it by you. That's all he does. That's not the guy to do that with. Like, bro, here's the thing. I remember saying when the Yankees faced the Astros, everybody was like, yeah, people, lefty. I said, no, but it's different with Nestor. Nestor's crafty. He's not going to just say, I got to blow a pitch by Jordan Alvarez.
Precision.
It's a different type of pitcher than Alvarado is.
Yep.
But here's the thing again. Do you know how long Rob Thompson is going to live with this in his head? Until he dies.
Yeah, he's going to be like, damn, that could have been the one. Especially if he doesn't win another one.
Correct, because here's the other thing, Ruben. I said, guys, look, it's much easier to defend and say, you know what? If Wheeler gave it up, Wheeler's better than everybody in that bullpen. He was at 70 pitches. They had 3 hits in 5 1/3 innings against them. He was dominating.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, we already saw it with Snell in 2020.
Yes, exactly.
And I
Now
remember,
we saw with Boone and Cole.
yes, and I remember the faces of Bellinger and Mookie in
Yep.
2020, looking at, oh my God, they took out Snell, they couldn't touch him,
Yeah.
and you're telling me that you're gonna take out Wheeler because he got two men on base on first and third.
And they weren't even hard hit balls. It wasn't like he was getting smoked.
The guy could have easily dropped a double play, let the run on third base score, and then the next one he struck him out.
Yeah.
Like, that's your best pitcher on the staff. This guy has been every bit worth of the money that he signed for.
Yep.
Like,
and
I
more.
mean, you could make the case that he's been worth what Cole signed for.
Yeah.
Because when he signed with Philly, he led the league in innings pitched for 2 years in a row in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah, he's been a workhorse.
And he hasn't had an ERA above 3 in all years that he's been in Philly.
Yeah, he's a horse.
He's literally been the ace that they were like looking for.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you're not gonna trust that dude?
It's insane. It's and again, here is why, and I'm trying to let people understand this. Here is why you got some people that simply blame analytics and new school baseball because that's all they could think about it that being. Because in old school baseball,
that's the notion they keep telling us. That's the notion they keep telling us.
And if you think about it, here's why I loved the way Dusty Baker managed. Ruben, the lineup was the same every day. At least 1 through 7. At least 1 through 6 was always the same. It was always the same.
1 through 6 is the same. And 7 and through 9, you already knew his rotation.
Yes, exactly. And then you knew it was going to be Hector Neris, Montero, Abreu, Presley.
Yep.
And you knew those guys. Okay, so, oh man. Do you remember when the Yankees had Betances, what's his name, and
Miller,
yes.
Chapman.
Yes.
They had Robertson,
the three-headed
too.
monster. Remember they had the three-headed monster? Everybody
Yep.
said, shit, you better be beating the Yankees by the 6th inning because you got to face those 3 guys to close it. It's a mindset.
It's like once you know your role, forget it, bro. You take off from there.
Of course.
And that's the problem with some of these guys. Like Wandy stepped it up in the postseason. I was like, wow, like Wandy really took a hold of like, I gotta be that guy ready every day. But that was him taking himself into that kind of role.
Right.
Because Boone doesn't set roles, and that's the problem. It's like you can't keep going based off the matchup of the lineup every single time. Sometimes it doesn't matter where in the lineup you're in. Simply put in your guy. Correct. Put in your guy because it like too many times I've seen him like say, okay, I'm gonna go with this guy because he's lower leverage. He's going against the butt on the lineup. I said, bro, we're in the 7th inning. Like we're getting close to the tight game. You don't think that these guys are going to step up and put out better at bats? Look at the catcher Maldonado, who played with a broken hand.
Yeah.
In the postseason and hit better than he's ever had all year.
Yep.
You're telling me they're not going to step up and be like, no, I got to make sure I get on base.
Yep.
Like, come on, man.
And look at those. Look at the role players too. To Christian Vasquez with a huge hit yesterday to make it 4-1, huge single. But again, here's a team. Look at Yuli Gurriel. What do you have? 2 strikeouts or 1 strikeout the entire postseason.
Yep.
Postseason.
And I said it in one of my videos earlier this year that watch one of the Sox players be one of the keys to winning the postseason and they trade for them. They traded for Vasquez. They shored up their offense from the catcher position.
Yep.
So they got Vasquez and put him there. Now you got a 270 hitter at a catching position.
Yeah.
And it's like, people say, oh, but the average, it doesn't really matter. It's like, yes, but it does matter in the postseason because you're not going to walk as much in the postseason. Yep. You're going against the best of the best. If you can't put the ball in play in the postseason,
forget it.
There's less chances that you're going to hit the home run that you're looking for.
Yep, that's
like,
right.
It's like, come on, you want the home run. Yes, we want the home run. Then why don't you get the guys that make more contact? Oh, but it's not all. It's like you got to at least have a chance to even have that happen.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons, too, why Yankee fans really are so fed up with Brian Cashman is because the majority of us, and that's why I always say this, I said it's the majority of Yankee fans have been calling for this since even after 2017. We need to add contact to this club. And even when Judge emerges, okay, I got Judge and Stanton in this lineup. Why do I need Gallo? Why do I need more power? Why don't I just put guys around that are speed threats, that are contact orientated? That's the way it should go. And that's why I always say it is not this hard. It's not hard.
It's really not. Like, I mean, you had the the recipe in 2009. You had your
Right.
contact guys at the top, right, left, you know what I mean? Or
Jeter,
right, left,
Damon.
left, right. You know what I
Come
mean?
on.
And you had that. It sucks that they got injured, but even when they were not injured, Boone didn't do it. You could have had LeMahieu put a batting first. You could have had Benintendi batting second, and slide Judge down a third. Judge hit 351 this year. Last
Yep.
time I had looked at the stats, it's been a while, but I know he was on 350 with runners in scoring position. So you're telling me Benintendi, who's more prone to hitting doubles than in his career than a LeMahieu, then why not do that?
Yep. And
Like, it
Ruben, let me.
doesn't make any sense.
Can I read you Game Six's lineup real quick from the 2009 World Series?
Go for it.
Just listen, guys. Everybody listening to this, just listen to the balance and the type of players these guys are. Now, it's not always easy to do with these guys, but just think about this for a second. Derek Jeter, Johnny Damon, Mark Teixeira, A-Rod, Matsui, Posada, Cano, Swisher, and Gardner. That lineup, Ruben, has power, speed, contact, everything you need.
Balance, complete balance,
Batting eyes, right, left,
everything.
switch mix, everything you need in a lineup. And here's the crazy thing is, the Yankees have the power guys. They have those guys you could pencil in and go, hey, look, they're the pop. So that's going to lead me in to what Ruben Cruz thinks the Yankees should do in 2023. And you don't have to go into, they trade. What is just your thought process? It's early, a lot could change. What is your thought process on what the Yankees really need to do in 2023?
All right, so this is what I believe. I really don't think Cash will do it, just because I just don't believe in Cash. But I really think that if you really are about to win, you need to target. Obviously, you got to resign Judge. Judge, you resign him. He's done his job in cutting his strikeouts, hitting for average, doing all the things that he needed to do. Like,
Right.
all his numbers went up this year. Sign Benintendi. I like the Benintendi deal. I've already told you I'm a big Benintendi guy. I picked him up on an Uber ride. You know what I mean?
I like him too.
So,
I like him too. I like Benintendi too.
So,
I do.
and Benny knows what it takes to play in New York. You know what I mean? And I think with the shift being eliminated, the guy is going to start hitting for power. Isn't going to be afraid to pull the ball a little more because the shift is gone. So you can have like a 300 hitter with a 20 home run pop and still hit like 40 doubles.
Right.
But you got him in left field. You get Judge, resign Rizzo. But if it were me, find a way to get rid of Donaldson and Hicks and even Torres, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you can put at third base. At third base, you put Correa. Like, that's the guy I would want, because I was looking at the career numbers, right, in the postseason.
Yeah.
The guy's numbers are exactly the same.
Yeah.
He performs in the postseason in the same way he does the regular season.
Well, also,
the guy
too,
isn't afraid of it.
You know what I really dream of, Ruben, and you said it right early on, and I even put a tweet about it today. I said, guys, look, I just don't foresee the Yankees making the changes that they need, because I feel like it does take a level of creativity that Brian Cashman just doesn't show that he has. Yeah. And for me, you're right. Can you imagine the corners being manned by Correa and Rizzo, and then up the middle, you got your young guys. You got Peraza and Volpe at second.
Yeah, I mean,
would
and
anybody
if you
be mad at that? I think New Yorkers would be ecstatic. I think they would sell so many tickets their head would spin.
I mean, if they still want to do the whole service clock time thing with Volpe, you could even put Cabrera second.
Correct. You could say, you know what? Let's get the year extra. When them being the Yankees, it kind of pisses me off, because I'm like, you guys should be signing these guys after 2 years anyway.
Exactly, sign them early,
like everybody else does. Stop this nonsense that we wait. And that's my thing with Cashman. Like, bro, that is old school. It needs to go away. You don't wait till Aaron Judge is the best player in baseball.
I don't understand when, like, you have like the old Cleveland teams in the 90s, and I remember listening to this on the MLB Network. I forgot his name. He was the GM or part of the front office or whatever. And this is a couple years back. They used to extend their guys early, and that's why Cleveland was so good in the 90s.
Of course.
With the big boppers, with Manny and told me
Of
they used to
course.
extend them. Look at Atlanta now. Atlanta's
Yes.
extending. They got their first base, second base, third
Third.
base, right field, center field for basically 8 to 9 years,
Yeah.
and then you have their catcher who's still basically pre-arbitration for 5 more years.
That's right.
And you're
That's
telling
right.
me that you can't extend your core? You should
Houston
have
did it.
extended Judge.
Look at Jordan Alvarez. I
Houston,
mean, think about that for a
Alvarez,
second.
Bregman, Altuve. These three
Correct.
were extended.
Correct. And you don't think Pena is going to be if he has another good year next year? Of course he might be this
Yeah.
offseason. You never know.
They might do it now. They might say, look, bro, don't
That's what I'm
wait.
saying. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you the money now.
Yeah, forget about arbitration. Don't worry about it. We're going to pay you now. We want you here. And,
Yeah.
and that to me is just, and these are all examples of why us fans simply say, it's time for a change. You know, Brian Cashman, he likes to flaunt. I've been here forever. That's the problem, bro.
It's like you've been here a long time, but it's like at a certain point, bro, it's like you've only won one championship since basically 2001.
Yeah, and
Since
let's
2001 is one.
I understand like when Brian Cashman eventually goes away, and he's probably going to be a Hall of Famer for all the time and everything he's won. He should be for an executive, no denying that. But a lot of like me and you, we lived the dynasty, so we could sit back and go, well, in reality, I mean that really wasn't fully Brian Cashman. So when he kind of got the reins of the club, especially after I think before 09, he really started to get more control of the team.
Yeah. Like
But-
on 07, 08, like that's
Yeah,
when he
but
really
that's-
started doing his moves.
But what has been done since then?
And it's crazy because he's always lacked the pitching for those teams. Like it was always because he wasn't wanting to go after the big guy that he was supposed to. Like I you know, people that know me close, like I still lament the whole Cliff Lee thing. Like Cliff Lee was the guy we should have gone at that time.
Yeah.
Now he's fixing the pitching, and this is the part that bothers me about Cashman, that he is so slow to make adjustments. Because
Great point.
2018, he comes in, we have one of the worst infield defenses. You saw it all year with Andujar. You saw it all year with Gleyber sharing between shortstop and second. And then first base, we had Luke Voigt, but towards the end of 2018 and the rest of 2019 and everything. But it's like your infield defense was never ready to play.
Right.
And then you go into 2019, same thing. And then boom, 2021 comes in. And he's like, okay, we need to start making a change on defense.
Right.
So little by little. And
he's a very late adjuster.
Yeah, he adjusts way too late. So, we need to get lefties back again. It's like it took you up to 2021, since 2018, to realize, we need a lefty. You had a Michael Brantley available for years.
Correct.
Twice. And you passed up on him.
Ruben, he'll get him now, and he's going to be terrible.
Yeah, and that's
I'm doing it now. We're going to get Michael. Everybody's happy. He plays 20 games this year.
Let's get him when he's 36.
That's what he does. That's what they do. That's what they do. It's funny. We joke around about it, but would that shock you?
Bro,
that wouldn't shock me.
Remember the years before Judge, they had Vernon Wells. They had Andrew Jones.
Yep, Lyle Overbay.
Lyle Overbay. They had all the 36 and up.
Yep. Yeah, it was like the 36 and up club. Yeah. And it's wild, man. So, your expectations, honestly, what you would do is very similar to what I would do. I've already said the same thing. Judge needs to come back. I am all for getting Carlos Correa. I am all for. And if anybody asks me to, would you do Benny or Carlos? I do Carlos if I had to choose between those two. And I love Benny. But here, let me explain to you the reason why. Let me give you my reasoning why. Well, here's my only reasoning why. If I'm going to have an infield with these young guys coming up, I need somebody there with them that's like, no, this is how it's done. I need a real leader on that left side with them. Donaldson's good, but I need somebody that can command a little more respect, and I believe Carlos Correa is that type of guy. And on top of that, the Yankees desperately, Ruben, need a villain. They desperately need somebody that's a villain.
And you already got a backup left. You already got a backup option in left field, anyways.
Correct.
You got Waldo.
Correct.
Cabrera can just go play left field. Correct. You have DJ at second base until Volpe is ready, or just to start Volpe instantly. Because at this point, DJ should really just be a utility guy in the infield.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean, hey, look, if I talk about this all, I actually just I have an interview coming out with our new prospect guy, Dane Huber, and I mentioned this to him. I said, Dane, here's my concern. The Yankees are going to end up keeping Gleyber Torres and trading Peraza. And that, to me, is what the Yankees will do. I don't know about this yet, but I just know Cashman. And to me, they didn't have confidence. And whatever they want to say about Peraza, they didn't have enough confidence to play him. Whatever they want to say about him, they did not feel he would be this good in the major leagues to play him last year.
That is such a Cashman type move that it's frustrating. Yeah. It's frustrating because he talks about building from within, but then he doesn't go for it. Nope. Like you had, like he went, when he finally gave a chance on Duhart and Torres, there was growing pains.
Correct.
And then he goes and he's like, okay, oh well, man, and Duhart really sucked at third base. Let's not even put him there anymore. Like let's not even let him get better. He gets injured, comes back, and it's like you never committed to him, bro. And then like last year in 2021. Oh, we're going to go ahead and move into left field for 10 games and call him up to sit on the bench. And then we start playing him and he gets hurt. And it's like, why don't you just let him develop where he's supposed to develop and then call him up when he's ready? Bro, or to commit to him.
The annoying thing, too, about the Yankees is even when they got Benintendi, I'm going, yes, finally a leadoff hitter. And they bat him 6th and 5th. And
bat him 3rd and 4th. And it's like, come on, dude. Like, this guy's a number 2 hitter. Correct. Like in the World Series lineup, he was a number 2 hitter.
Correct. And it's almost like, see that I think that, and this is my problem. This is why I got so mad at the beat writers. I'm sitting there saying, guys, an easy question to ask is simply this: hey Brian or hey Aaron, whoever you want to ask it to, there is a major feel of a disconnect between yourselves and the fan base. The fan base sees completely different than the way you all do. Now, I understand you all have a process, but what would you really relate that to? I think that's a phenomenal question because Boone comes out and simply goes, I don't listen to any criticism from anybody. I don't hear it. That's bad. You should.
At a certain point, he needs to.
Thank you.
Because, like, I understand you want to shut out social media because you don't want to, like, necessarily let them completely influence you during the game. But at a certain moment in time, after so many years of constant, like, failure in the postseason, you gotta be like, okay, what am I doing wrong? I gotta listen to the fans.
What are the fans seeing that I'm not? Like, I understand I got a different viewpoint, but what do they see from the outside?
Exactly, because like, yes, you're managing people, but it's like you're not even. It's so funny because he's such a like players coach, as they call him, players manager.
He is.
And you're like, oh, I'm here for you, buddy, this and that. But it's like, bro, but then if you really cared about your players, then why wouldn't you give them peace of mind and let them know where they're going to always hit?
Because he's not a leader.
You know, like it doesn't make sense.
Ruben, in his press conference, he flat out said, I came back when he re-signed because he likes the camaraderie. He likes to be one of the guys. And I'm watching this and I'm going, bro, you got to be the leader.
He has to be the guy in the room.
And that's why I said, you can't beat it says kumbaya. I can't be that. You got to be the guy that demands respect and goes, this is what you're doing. Doesn't mean you got to be an asshole.
That's ridiculous.
It just simply means you got to keep guys in check. You can't sit there and say, you know what? I'm just a part of the guys. No, you're the leader in the clubhouse.
You're the coach.
You're the coach. You're not one of the guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you and me are both parents, right?
Yeah.
When your kid does something wrong, like we're like telling them, hey, we hold them accountable, but we're not there to be completely buddy with our kids because they need direction still. They're not gonna see what we're seeing,
right?
So you're telling me as a coach, you're not gonna tell him the perspective from the outside perspective.
Yeah,
tell your player like, yo, you looked really bad doing this. Exactly. Maybe your mind is thinking something else, but you need to realize what you just did.
That's right. You got to see it from everybody else, but you know your teammates are watching you not bust it down the line. We got young kids in this clubhouse that are that we're expecting to bust it out. When you're running the first base and you drop the bat and put your head down and you just jog, the guy bobbles the ball and still throws you out. What are you thinking?
For so many years with Gary Sanchez, with Torres, and then my problem is that it's even gotten to Giancarlo. And I don't know if Giancarlo's had leg issues and stuff, but even he's pulled Donaldson moves.
No, of course,
he's running to right field. It's a wall scraper. Why are you admiring a wall scraping home run in the
Ruben, again, and this is why I harp so much on leadership in that clubhouse between Boone and Cashman. Because you know why it happens? Because it's allowed to happen. It's basically you working for somebody, right? And every day you're open at 9, but you're there at 9:30. And the boss just always goes, hey, man, good morning. Hey, man, good morning. Hey,
That's
man, good
crazy.
morning. Hey, man, good morning. Hey, man. Nobody's ever sitting there going, hey, look, hey, we open at 9. You got to be here at 8:30.
It's like they took up the Robinson Cano juice,
Yes.
and they said, well, he's reliable. He's here every day.
Yep. Bingo.
And it's
Bingo.
like Robinson Cano was such a good Yankee. I wanted him back and everything, but Robinson Cano was pretty lazy at times, and they had to pull him to the side and say, you need to hold yourself into a higher standard, bro.
Yeah.
Because you got all the time in the world to be an MVP.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like, you got to do the same thing with Gleyber. Gleyber coming up, we're all thinking like this guy might be a future MVP.
Yeah,
because
that's what bothers me. And that's what bothers me about the clubhouse. Because I'm sitting there and look, I get it. Not everybody sees what happens inside the room, but I can't imagine anybody is really taking the reins here because it shouldn't happen all season with the same guys.
Thing is, if, as a leader, you need to also know the temperaments of your players, right?
Facts. So
if you know this guy hits, like he doesn't want to be the guy. He doesn't want to hit third. He doesn't want to hit fourth. He doesn't want to be the huge RBI guy. Then why are you hitting him in that spot?
Correct. Exactly right.
You know? Because
exactly right.
Benintendi has always been a table setter.
Right.
Same thing with DJ. He's more of a table setter. He excelled at runners in scoring position, but he was still in the top of the order when he did it.
Yep.
So then when you look at Judge, he's clamored for years to hit third.
Yeah. He's
done it every year. He said, hey, I'm ready to hit third, coach. Like, put 2 men on base for me. You know, when we got Rizzo in 2021, Rizzo, for a good majority of that lineup, was hitting second.
Yeah.
Judge was hitting third and Stanton was hitting fourth.
Yep.
Because Judge was like, yo, you got 2 men on base for me. They can't pitch to me.
Correct. Of course.
Because now they have to throw strikes. But you're not gonna value that because analytics says you put your best hitter in the second spot. Look at who was batting second in the postseason for Houston.
Yep.
Pena,
that's right.
Because Pena, they knew that this guy, okay, he has a temperament to get on base when we really need him, and we also know that he is a really good hitter.
Correct.
He just needed time to adjust.
Yeah.
He controls the bat well, doesn't strike out a ton. Like, that's the kind of stuff you got to worry about. And that's why, to me, it's like this lineup, while we did cut the strikeouts down, we got more balance. But it took since 2018 to do that.
Yep, that's right.
Like,
that's right.
We finally got the left-handed first baseman. We finally got the left-handed left fielder. But it took us since 2018 until now to finally do it.
And that's, unfortunately, we could talk about this all day because that has been the Yankees' way for a minute. So, Ruben, I tell you what, man, I have extremely enjoyed this conversation and this show. Please, guys, do me a big favor. Go follow Ruben on Twitter at Cruz Yankee Fan. You see it right down there. Wait, where am I at? Right down over that way. You see it over there. So make sure you go follow Ruben. Ruben is always a great follow because, again, he gives you numbers. He gives you reasons behind what he says. And, that's really the way it goes. So, Ruben, man, I greatly appreciate you joining us today. Any last words for everybody?
Yeah, no, thank you for having me on. I also have my YouTube channel, NyynewsTV. I'm and also write for NyynewsTV.com. So, feel free to look at the articles up there.
Yep.
And just gotta put pressure on the Yankees. We gotta make sure they hear our voice, and I appreciate what you're doing here, Pete.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. You guys know the deal. We will never come whack on a designated Spittaz track. Until next time, guys, we are out. Adios.